What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. We are quickly approaching the NFL draft, which means that Dynasty fantasy football players are going to be searching for who they should be drafting in their upcoming 2024 rookie drafts. And so today, what I'm bringing you guys is 5 sleepers, guys that are being drafted outside of the top 25 players, meaning they are going in rounds 3 or later of your rookie drafts that you should be targeting later this upcoming spring. So don't worry, I've done the research for you. I'm just here to present it to you. But without wasting any more time, let's hop right into today's video and let's talk about my first sleeper. Now, the first player that I want to bring up is going to be Pearsall, wide receiver out of Florida. He currently has an ECR of 25.1. If you're not familiar with what ECR is, it is Expert Consensus Rankings. They're over on Fantasy Pros. You guys can find him over there. But he's coming off the board as the 25th player in your rookie drafts. This is going to make him the wide receiver 12 in this class, according to those rankings. And that means he is going to be projected as an early third round pick. Now, there's a few things to like here about Pearsall. The first thing really is that he is a reliable slot target. This is a wide receiver who has the ideal size and the hands to prove that he can be one of the better wide receivers in the slot at the NFL level. I think he's a very crafty route runner. This is a guy who knows how to leverage zone defenses, and I do think he tested better athletically at the combine than I think many people had expected him to. He ran a 4.41 40-yard dash. He had a 42-inch vertical, and those numbers are better than I think anyone expected over there in Indianapolis. Now, he does a good job at sinking his hips when he's running his routes. He maintains his route tempo throughout the turns. He adjusts really well when he's tracking the football, and this is a wide receiver who isn't afraid to lay out and make that catch for you. But as a negative, I do think he seems to struggle a little bit more at times against press coverage. He does seem to get a little bit overwhelmed when he has an aggressive defensive back on him, and it does seem to overwhelm him the most when he is at that contested catch point. But overall, Pearsall, a very solid wide receiver, coming off the board as the 25th player. I think he's a player that's underrated right now and somebody who people might be sleeping on in their rookie drafts. Now, moving on to our next player here, we are going to be talking about Ray Davis, running back out of Kentucky, and he's coming off the board as an average overall rank of 31. That is a positional rank of running back 8, so a little bit higher positionally than where Pearsall is. We know this is a little bit weaker of a running back class, a little bit deeper of a wide receiver class, and where Ray Davis is coming off in your rookie drafts is a projected mid-third round pick, and this is a guy coming off of a 2023 season where he had 232 touches, 1,452 total yards, and 21 total touchdowns. Now, Ray Davis has that 3-down back potential that I think he can carry over with him to that next level if he finds himself in the right situation. He plays with some good patience. I think he allows his lead blockers to set up rushing lanes for him, and it does seem that when he is being tackled, he does always seem to fall forward, allowing him to gain some extra yardage, and he does have some soft hands. He breaks tackles really well. This all allows him to be a true dual threat weapon out of the backfield, which I think has a lot of value at the next level. Now, I will say he does lack some decision making at times, especially when he's trying to find those rushing lanes. It causes him to stutter his feet a little bit before he hits that hole, and I do think he has some average vision as an interior rusher. But all in all, I think this is a guy who could find himself into a situation where maybe he's not drafted in the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft, but maybe this is a guy who's a 4th round or 5th round running back that finds himself in a situation where he can find a role early on. I think if he gets that role, he's going to have some value for an NFL team, which in result means he's going to have value for our Dynasty fantasy football teams. Now, the third player on this list is going to be Malachi Corley, wide receiver out of Western Kentucky. And Malachi Corley, he has the overall rank of 31.4. So again, the 31st player off the board, him and Ray Davis are very similarly ranked right now. And he has a positional rank right now of wide receiver 15. What this means is he is also going to be a projected 3rd round pick in your rookie drafts. And this is a guy coming off of a 2023 season where he had 79 receptions for 984 yards and 11 touchdowns. And Malachi Corley is a big and physical wideout. This is a guy who has always seen a heavy workload his entire time that he's been over there at Western Kentucky. And I do think that his calling card, he is incredible after the catch. He runs his routes with a sense of leverage, and I think he uses head nods very well. He has some wiggle that helps him manipulate coverages. He shows late, quick hands, which I think help him snatch the football out of the air. And he gets this Deebo Samuel comparison due into his play style. And honestly, I do think that Deebo Samuel comparison does fit Malachi Corley. But just like Deebo, Malachi is going to have to show us that he is a little bit more than just a schemed target. And he is going to have to prove to us that he can develop a deeper route tree at the next level, because that is what is going to take his game to the next level. Malachi is a monster in the open field. I think he punishes cornerbacks on the perimeter, especially when they're trying to tackle him one-on-one. But I do think that Malachi does allow defenders at times to get into his space, especially when he's trying to make some of these tougher catches where he's not necessarily the greatest contested catch receiver, even though he is a little bit more physical. And I do think at times when he is running routes, he lacks a little bit of patience, especially when it comes to sitting in zones, making it easier for your quarterback to hit you in those zones. He seems to get a little bit impatient and leaves those zones quicker than he should be. But all in all, I love Malachi Corley as a prospect. I think he's a very good player who has a lot of upside. And I do think this is a guy who could hear his name be called on the first 2 days of the NFL draft, probably more so a third-round wide receiver. But if that happens, I think Malachi Corley is going to get a little bit more hype than he has right now. Now, keeping it pushing, we are going to be talking about Jacob Cowing, wide receiver out of Arizona. He currently has an average overall rank of 41. His positional rank is wide receiver 22, and that means he's going to be coming off of the board in your rookie drafts right now as a projected mid fourth round pick. Now, his 2023 season, he saw 90 receptions for 848 yards and 13 touchdowns, and Jacob Cowing is a little bit undersized. It does make his profile risky, but I do think as the 41st player off the board, there really isn't much risk in the acquisition cost for a guy like Jacob Cowing, and I think he does a great job setting up his routes. I think he plays with a sense of sudden quickness, especially when he is running in that short area of the field. And I think despite being a smaller and lighter wide receiver, he does play much stronger than expected. He breaks tackles and he has a good feel for the end zone. I think he's a very savvy runner in the open field. He sets up defenders, especially when he has some downfield blockers. So a very savvy after the catch type of player and a good slot wide receiver there at Arizona. But I do think that the size of Jacob Cowing has showed up on tape. Like I said, he plays a little bit bigger than he looked, but it does show up at times, especially when he gets downfield. I think he's not going to win a lot of contested catches. He has a smaller catch radius, and I think the deeper he gets downfield, the more that shows up on the tape. And it does seem like when he gets in traffic, just due to that smaller size, he does have a little bit more drop issues when he has the defense around him. So all in all, Jacob Cowing, this is a very low risk type of player that you can get virtually at the end of your rookie drafts, maybe even undrafted in some of your leagues, depending on how deep those drafts are. And this is a guy you could put on a taxi squad for the first year and see if he finds a role in the NFL, because he has performed at the college level. And this is a player who has shown enough flashes for me, at least as a cheap dart throw on my Dynasty fantasy football teams. And now the last player we're going to be talking about today is going to be a guy who really is getting zero buzz right now. He's actually projected to go undrafted in your rookie drafts, but we are going to be talking about Jordan Travis, quarterback out of Florida State. And obviously this applies to your super flex leagues, but right now Jordan Travis is being ranked as the overall 59th best player in this class. He has a positional rank right now of the quarterback 10. And like I mentioned, he's projected to be undrafted in your rookie draft, so virtually nobody is looking at Jordan Travis right now. But this is a guy who's coming off of a 2023 season where he had 2,932 total yards. He had 27 total touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And we forget Jordan Travis. This is a guy who finished top 5 in the Heisman Trophy race in 2023. Before he suffered that late season-ending leg injury that unfortunately is probably going to force him to miss some pre-draft workouts and is most likely going to hurt his NFL draft stock. But let's not forget about how good Jordan Travis was before the leg injury. Now, he is a little bit undersized. He does have a good enough arm, though, that I think he's going to be able to make all of the NFL throws. And I do think he can help protect himself when he uses his legs. He does have that true dual threat ability as a quarterback. And I think Travis has a good sense for the pocket, especially when he's under pressure. I think he's talented as a runner and he helps move the chains for his offense. And overall, Jordan Travis is pretty accurate, especially when he's targeting the intermediate part of the field. I think he can make all of those throws, and he's even good at making those throws even when he's on the move. I think the only thing about Jordan Travis is he needs to become a little bit more decisive at the next level. I think he can kind of stall out and fizzle out when he's making his progressions, and it does force him to panic at times, which forces some poor decision-making throws. But I think this is a guy who still has a lot of upside, and honestly, when I'm looking at Jordan Travis and Spencer Rattler, I prefer Spencer Rattler, but I don't see a major difference between the two quarterbacks. And I think ideally with Jordan Travis, this is a guy who would excel in a situation maybe like the New Orleans Saints, maybe like the New York Jets, where they have some long-term question marks at the quarterback position. It would allow Jordan Travis to develop under a veteran quarterback and kind of be that potential high upside swing for them. a high upside backup for their next quarterback of the future. And if that's the case, I think Jordan Travis could have some success at the next level. But like I said, this is a guy who's going to be undrafted, so he is virtually free in your rookie drafts or even on the waiver wire afterwards, and definitely worth a stash on your taxi squads, at least for his rookie season. But with that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. So if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and hit that like button. It is the best free way to show this channel some support. And also let me know who you think is a sleeper in this rookie class in the comments down below. Interested to hear who you guys are watching right now for your Dynasty rookie drafts. And if you want more content like this, go ahead and check out our other videos. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed and hitting that notification bell. That way you never miss a future upload. And last but not least, make sure you are a member of our Discord. We have a free Discord linked in the description. It is free to join. So we're in there talking Dynasty Fantasy Football 24/7, 365. And in that Discord is actually where I ask for your help on future videos. So go make sure to join that Discord. And with all of that out of the way, I will see you guys on our next video. But until then, peace out.